Hello and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I hope you can hear me because this is live from Reykjavik. I'm not in my hometown, but I am in the headquarters of the Queer Association of Iceland, and I thank them. I will thank them. I'll thank them gratefully tomorrow when I am finished with this. But welcome to this stream, and to let's just go to the part where I uh, talk about why I'm doing this. It's all about creating conversations that really matter. We are diving into ways to connect deeply, break down barriers, and build moments that inspire trust and growth. Whether it's with your team at work or in your everyday chats, we will bring more positivity, realness, and impact into every conversation. And as mentioned, I'm not in the beautiful town of Kopo right now, but I'm in Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. And remember to find us on Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, just wherever. Just ask Dr. Google. But my guest today is Luca Oake, and she is the author of the book Forgive for You. She is in Iceland, that's why I'm not at home. And she had a lecture or was a keynote speaker when we had the Pride Week here in Iceland, and I missed it because I didn't read the guidelines that she was 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., but not no 2 p.m., not 5 p.m. We guys tend to not to read the manuals. And when I came at the wrong time, people said she was awesome. So I walked into a wall and banged my head into it and said, "You idiot!" But I forgave myself like when I got home. So, so you are here, Miss Luca.
Yes, let me come be.
Well, we can because we can do it like
Yes,
this.
yes.
So
Okay,
now,
perfect.
yeah.
Now we're good. Now we're good.
So this is Luca Oake.
Hey, everybody. Hi.
And you know that you can comment on our everything. You can do whatever you like. Be part of the program. Be
Oh yeah,
with
we'll have a
us.
live chat. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and already we have David Pushkin who says, "Hello all, hailing from London, UK. As always, looking forward to another great conversation with the mayor of happiness. Stay encouraged all and let's contribute comments and reflection. Your chief encouragement officer approves." David Pushkin, thank you very much. So let's dive into Luca Oake.
Thanks for
And
having me.
it's Oak.
It is oak. Yes.
So
Yes.
because how many people say Oaks?
Well, people say Oake. People, it's been pronounced all kinds of interesting ways, as I'm sure actually you get a lot too, because Icelandic names and words, they're not the easiest thing. They're not the easiest thing. I had to practice your name quite a bit. Haven. Haven.
Yeah, well, here.
Okay, see? Exactly. Exactly. I still didn't get it. I practiced, I still didn't get it. You said, you know what? I'm just not gonna.
Here.
Okay. It's what he said. It's just what he said. That's his name.
So we talked in the spring,
Yes.
and you mentioned that you had this book, and you were into you are a forgiveness Sherpa, like how do you say it?
Sherpa.
Sherpa.
Yes. Get you up the mountain. I help you get up the mountain of
Yes.
forgiveness, if
And-
that's what you want to do.
Yes, and we talked about that happiness and forgiveness is something that like they are hold hand in hand, because if you're having something in your system, then you can't be happy maybe. And
It is very challenging to be happy with a heart full of resentment. It
Yeah.
is very challenging to hold happiness. Maybe you can have moments of happiness, but it's hard to hold happiness and sustain happiness and joy when you have the heaviness of resentment in you. I've at least that's been my experience, and
Yeah.
that's what I've seen other people struggle with.
And when I talked to her, I got the book on Audible, and when I was finished, when I finished listening to it, it was the most difficult book and yet most freeing book in something like, I wanted to pause, I had to scream, I said some words to myself that were not good in the ears of children.
Yeah, and I think I told you this earlier. I had one person who read a part of the book and said that he just needed to go take a bath afterward because it was so heavy for him.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, should we check? Can folks hear us okay? Like if you just put in the chat whether
Yeah,
we're
David,
doing
you are the person who will tell us if you can hear us.
just let us know if the audio is okay because we're mic'd up differently than we expected. So
Yeah, we are improvising this.
yes we are. Yes we are.
This is very much improvisation. So, but okay, you wrote the book because you have to tell us about a little bit about. I don't know where we should begin. Should we begin on chapter 1, or should we? Because your life, you have done, like you have experienced loads of stuff.
Mhm.
You have positive stuff,
Mhm.
very negative stuff, and like there are
Some more positive stuff.
Yeah, some more positive, like meeting me.
Well,
But-
actually, you know where I'd like to start? I actually would like to start with a question for you.
Yeah.
So, because you have this designation of the Chief Happiness Officer of Iceland, I'm really curious how you think about happiness. Like, how do we know when we're happy?
Yes, that's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? But for me, it is that I have done. My family is good,
Mhm.
and I know that they are good. For me, it is waking up in the morning, listening to the birds, and I think, yeah, I think it would be a good day.
Yeah.
And trying to, I have been with my wife for 40 years, and she has really used the time well, because why are you so negative?
Mm.
Why are you so negative? Because maybe I had a lot of stuff that I didn't forgive my parents or my
Yeah.
father, because my father was an alcoholic.
Mm.
So, but happiness is just to be that you can represent the person you want to be.
Yeah.
So if you do something that is not in character, and if you get this sense of some,
Yeah.
then it's not like you have to be able to stand with yourself.
Yeah.
And I think when I realized that, maybe too late, but my father passed away in 2014, then I could say, like, well, he did the best he could.
Yeah.
In reason, like, given the circumstances.
Yeah. And you were able to say that it was after he passed away that you came to that.
Yes,
that
maybe
understanding.
because he did never talk about his feelings. I didn't know if he loved me,
Yeah.
which I did, because I could hear it everywhere else, like,
Yeah.
or speaking to my wife, where she was in a family gathering, and yeah, he was talking about this. Then she could hear him, like his voice elevated
Yeah.
when talking about me,
Yeah.
but never to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is maybe why I told her, when that we were like in the process of getting our kids,
Mhm.
that I told her that the boy's name was Aaron. Not like I didn't know, this was in the beginning, in the first stages of our relationships. And then I would always say, I love you, and good night, sleep well. And then when they went to school or work or whatever, I love you. So they would never, ever think that
Yeah.
I
They wouldn't
didn't.
have to wonder.
No,
Yeah.
because I wondered,
Yeah.
because he never said it in
Yeah.
my face. But okay, he was born in 1929. My mother was born in 1925. And that was just not the option, because you had kids and you maybe lost them because
Yeah.
conditions and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, isn't it interesting? You come from a generation of parents who actually couldn't afford to get too attached to
Yeah.
their children.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I do think that the challenge that we have with the people we love and the families that we have is understanding their full story.
yeah,
And, I talk about this in the book that I ultimately, as an adult, came to understand that what I didn't know about my father was so much more than what I did know about him. That the older that I got, the more I understood there's parts of his story that I can't even fathom. There are things about him that I can't understand. And my father is a figures very strongly in my forgiveness story. He's the first person I needed to forgive because I was so filled with rage at him because he was such a destructive force in my childhood, just such a destructive force. And then as I got older, understanding him coming from the deep south of the United States, from a very violent kind of racism, what he had to do to survive, things I don't even know. Like, I don't know what kind of childhood he had. He never talked about his childhood. I don't know what he might have suffered as a kid. And so it is interesting. I think there are some people who say that we should get to forgiveness through empathy and understanding. I think this is actually can be very difficult, especially when we are trying to forgive people or we think we want to forgive people who have traumatized us. It's very difficult to go find empathy for someone who has traumatized you. I think for me, I actually just simply had to start with forgiveness, whether I wanted to or not, whether I understood him or not, whether I cared about him or not, whether I empathized with him or not. I had to just start with, may he be forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
Just may he be forgiven. And the way that I was taught forgiveness, the way that I was taught to approach it. Oh, what are we saying?
Yeah, that is, I'm trying to
Okay.
see. Wait.
Are we good?
Wait. Yeah. So you have to just continue because
Okay.
I will try to figure this out.
Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think I have to. There is this one you don't have the mouse to help you. Oh,
There we
we
go.
are. Yes,
Okay.
your audio
Audio's
is
good. All
great.
right,
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right, now I'll tell this bit. So the way that I was taught forgiveness, and why the book is called Forgive for You, is I was taught that I don't have to, and I started with my dad. I started the forgiveness process with my father. I was taught that my father didn't need to know I was forgiving him. He didn't need to be a part of it. I didn't need to interact with him. I didn't need to reconcile with him. I didn't even need to love him or like him or care about him. All I had to do was just redirect my attention and my intention and my focus from I hate him, I hope he dies, to may he be forgiven. And notice, I'm not even asking that I forgive him. I'm asking, may he be forgiven by whatever is out there. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm not a religious person. I don't necessarily believe conventionally in God. I don't pray in a conventional way. But that was a very simple prayer that I was taught to say. And that's actually what I talked about when I gave the keynote at Iceland Pride, is that we can use these forms of prayer. Or if prayer is too loaded, meditation, or mindfulness, or thoughtfulness, these small moments to just redirect our focus from what we are resenting, what we are hating on, to I just want to be released from this. And so that was my forgiveness process, was I want to be released from this. May he be forgiven. Amen. And it actually, I say this a lot, and I say this in the book, and I said this in the keynote. The prayer actually sounded like this. May he be forgiven. I shouldn't have to do this, and he doesn't deserve it, but fine. Fine. May he be forgiven.
Yeah.
Amen. Like, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
And I call these ugly prayers.
Yeah.
Right? We don't need to start from a place of deep empathy. It can be re-traumatizing for us to do that. But the focus really is I need this, what I'm holding, this resentment that I'm holding, I need it to get out of me. So what do I need to do to get this out of me? And forgiveness was a first step. It was, may he be forgiven so that I can be released. May he be forgiven so that I can be free.
Yeah, so you don't carry the resentment.
So that I don't carry this.
It is also inward, like
Yeah.
how you do it, because you can be, and you sometimes I say to my wife that I felt this rage today, and I didn't know where it came from. And she always, like clever as she is, and you're holding on to something.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't read the manual. I don't read the manual.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. Yeah, and it is interesting too. So when I gave the keynote during Pride, one of the activities that we did together, myself and the audience, is I asked folks if you can think about a forgiveness prayer, something that you want to release, type it in, and then I displayed all of the prayers on the screen. Somebody typed in as their forgiveness prayer, "May they burn in hell." And I read it out loud, and then I said, "Okay, if that's the prayer you want to say, that's fine. But remember, that's inside of you. You are walking around with 'may they burn in hell' energy, right? That's not hurting them. That's hurting you.
Yeah.
And the other part of that is, if someone has done something horrible enough to us that we want them to burn in hell, it's likely they are actually already there.
Yeah, they are suffering
They
somehow
are already,
because they are carrying.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, all of the violence and violation that I experienced as a child was perpetuated on me by people who were broken themselves. They were already in hell. And I've said that to people. I've been like, I hope that guy just burns in hell. That's how I felt about my dad. I hope he just suffers and dies and burns in hell. That's how I felt about my father.
But how did it, because when listening to your book, or while reading your book, in the first chapter, I was so confused because you had your father, or like the man,
my dad.
The dad,
Yeah, my
and,
dad.
and then you had your beloved mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, so she has a beloved mom. Because chapter 2, then it took a little bit, turn, and then it was the lady that was not as much as a role model, and she was bad, and then I was just like, okay, where are we now?
Yes.
And then the cursing started when
Yeah, then the swearing started. Like chapter 6, and then the swearing started.
Yeah. And then you figured out that she wasn't even your mother, so like you have a very complex.
It's a very complex beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this thing about how you discovered that your mother was white and from Germany, and I don't want to give up the ending because I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was a twist I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
But how?
I didn't see it coming either.
No.
I didn't see it coming either. And I was like, why is this even necessary?
Yeah.
There was one more thing to forgive.
Because I was just like, well, okay, but something happened. It was so good. And my beloved mama, she had a strong issue in she was a key player in that stuff, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So I don't want to take it because people have to read or listen to the book, because I was just sometimes I was like, no.
Yeah, and it is interesting. So actually, the editors of the book also had the same reaction. Like, wait, hold on. Okay, wait, who's your dad? Okay, wait, but who's this guy?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of confusion because ultimately, what I say is, I had 6 parental units.
Yeah.
I had 6 people in the parental role. And so it is confusing, like who's who and what part they play in the story. But a key thing that I can say is the person I talk about who's my father is the man who was the father of my childhood, right? That's the man who did a lot of harm to me.
Yeah.
But the person I talk about who's my dad is this guy who really loved me and really did his very best in his own way to care for me.
Yeah.
Those 2 people are the same person, but a different man.
Yeah.
Right? And what changed, what allowed this evolution of my father to become my dad is firstly me being able to forgive my father. And because I forgave him, there was this opening that was created.
Yeah.
And that opening ended up allowing a lot of love to come into my life. Yeah. And so that's why the first 3 chapters are structured the way they are, because they're a love letter to my parents. They're a love letter to this dad who loved me. They're a love letter to this beloved mama who just changed my heart forever. Yeah. I really wanted people to understand that this isn't I would say, like an academic book about the process of forgiveness. This really is a love story to these people who held me so unconditionally and kept me safe and kept me just so deeply loved in the world. And because they loved me the way they did, they really taught me a lot about love. And now I feel myself available to love human beings unconditionally. And I think this is a really tricky thing,
Yeah.
to do things unconditionally with other humans. Like, parents love their kids unconditionally. They're, at least in theory.
Yeah.
Kids love their parents unconditionally, at least in theory. But most of the time, we love people because we're getting from them what we want to get from them. And then when we don't get from them what we think we want or what we need, that's where we have a lot of break. There's a lot of resentment because our expectations aren't being met. It's very hard to love unconditionally. I think it takes a great deal of intention, and I think it takes a great deal of forgiveness to love unconditionally. But one thing I'll say is, when we can really love unconditionally, the person that opens up the most, the person who feels the deepest connection from that, really, at least for me, has been me. It is a joy to be able to love unconditionally.
But this, you remember, guys, you can ask questions if there are anything that I'm missing.
Or make comments.
Yes, like people make comments.
Oh, we have a
question.
We have a hand. Yes.
So you could say it's like
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe you should come. Yes.
Yeah.
you could say that it's the phrase hurt people until you basically broke the chain
Yes. Yes.
of that hurt people, because you could have
Oh yes.
hurt other people.
Oh, I was
because of
very
how-
much okay. So I'm going to repeat that. That hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
That is a phrase that has definitely come into our consciousness in the last few years, and I think it's a really deep understanding that yes, like the reason we traumatize is because we are traumatized. I really don't believe that people who are well adjusted and who love themselves internally set about intentionally traumatizing other people. I just don't think that's where trauma comes from. Trauma comes from trauma. And it did take a good deal of effort for me to break the trauma cycle in my own life. And I was on my way. Oh, I was very much on my way to traumatizing other people. Absolutely. I was full of rage. I was very much disconnected from other people. By the time I was 19, I was suicidal. At 23, I was starting to get physically violent, and I had physical violence in my life and in my relationships. So absolutely, a lot of trauma was really starting to pick up. And so, yeah, this disruption that happened, this forgiveness tool coming into my life, really started to disrupt that trauma and really, I think, set me on track to be able to heal, and to really evolve from that trauma and not perpetuate that trauma. Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sugandh, he's from India. He says forgiveness is not just a response to display of genuine remorse for the other person's mistake.
Mhm.
That's good. It's about peace for ourselves and letting go of our own anger and hatred that might consume us on the longer run.
Yeah, this I cannot stress enough, and this is really difficult for people. And I've experienced this personally too. Why should I forgive them? They don't deserve it.
Yeah.
They haven't apologized. They haven't taken accountability. They haven't said they're sorry. Why should I forgive them?
Yeah.
Why should I forgive them? And most of the time, this is asked as a rhetorical question. Most of the time, people don't want to know the answer to why should I forgive them. They're just like, why should I forgive them, right? And I get that. I do. I get that because, out of my own harm, I definitely wished harm on other people. Out of my own harm, I definitely was a person who could easily hurt other people. Even now, I'm introverted and I don't always have a lot of spaciousness inside of me for the world. And so yesterday was the eclipse in Iceland, which maybe it wasn't as cool as Spain, but it was pretty cool.
It was cool.
Because the light doesn't go out of the sky here in the summer, and it got completely dark. I mean, it was just bonkers. I was like, oh my God, it's dark in Iceland. And then it wasn't dark anymore. Like, it was really, really
And
interesting.
quiet.
And super quiet. Yeah, it was really amazing. It was really, truly amazing. But it's interesting because, I ended up in a crowd. I wasn't expecting this. I ended up in a crowd of more than 1,000 people. We were all gathered at the lighthouse in Reykjavik. And there were a bunch of super jovial Americans there. And these are the last people I really wanted to be around. They're like, we're loud and we just want to like insert ourselves in everybody's conversation. And I do that too, right? Like we're just, so this is super jovial American was like, hey, where are you guys from? And I was like, bro, not today. Just not today. Okay. I don't want to talk to you today. So look, I am not always my best spacious self. And when I'm like that, it's because there's some reason I feel I need to protect my heart. Yeah, I feel tender and I just can't be exposed to the world. So I 100% get all of that. What I would say is when we think that people have been away with us or done something to us where they don't deserve our consideration, they don't deserve our forgiveness, to hold on like that, we are literally just re-stabbing ourselves in the heart with whatever the harm was.
Yeah.
If I had held on and to this notion that my father doesn't deserve forgiveness, I mean, the person who helped me said to me, your rage is not going to kill your father. It's going to kill you.
Yes.
So you can just keep doing this to yourself if you want to. You can keep stabbing yourself if you want to with your resentment and your rage and your resentment and your rage. But I'm asking you to take the knife out of yourself and drop it. And that's what forgiveness was about.
But how is it? Because you have mentioned like there was alcohol involved when you were growing up with your parents, or how that was, and everything, and a horrible story like so many have.
Yeah.
But and I like, because I'm only the son of an alcoholic.
That's all, huh?
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God.
The only trauma I have is my dad was an alcoholic. I don't have any other trauma. I'm fine.
And I was just like, here am I going around bitching about, oh my bad, like he was this and that. And then I listened to your story, I was like, that is the wrong conception
exactly.
of things.
No, it exactly is. This is this comparative trauma thing. Like there's a lot of this that happens, this comparative trauma. Like, well, my trauma is only this big and your trauma is that big, so I have more trauma.
Or
you win. Or my trauma is this big and your trauma is only that big, so I win. Like there's a lot of that too. I win, like I'm a bigger victim than you are because my trauma is this big and your trauma is only this big. So look, our nervous systems and our brains don't know the size of trauma. The amygdala only knows fight, flight, freeze, because I'm in danger.
Yeah.
And the amygdala doesn't ask us, our brains don't ask us, is this a little danger or a big danger? Just let me know whether it's just the size of danger so I can just calibrate. Like our brains don't do that.
Is this hot or is it super hot?
Yes, exactly. So I do think that, there's a story I read once where this guy was talking about, he had done some trauma work because he was dealing with depression and he couldn't understand what was happening. And he went all the way back into his childhood and he found this moment where he was at a swimming pool with his father, and his father had left to go get a towel or go get a hot dog or something. And the kid was at the pool by himself and he couldn't find his dad. And this traumatized him. Like he was so scared, and it changed him as a human. And he said that when he found this moment in his childhood, he felt so ridiculous. He was like, this isn't even like my dad didn't even do anything bad to me, but I felt so traumatized. And then I felt ashamed of how traumatized I felt. But the point is, like, he was a little kid. He got left at a swimming pool. He can't figure out on his own that he's okay. It's whatever trauma we have, I would say, respect your trauma. You don't need to compare your trauma. You don't need to decide if you are the larger victim or the smaller victim. Respect that your trauma has hurt you. And then once you do that, decide if you want your trauma to keep hurting you. Do you want to stay in the pain loop? Do you want to keep reharming yourself with this trauma? Or is it time to figure out how to alchemize this and let it go. And one of the things about forgiveness that I love so much, because people will say like, well, that was the past and I don't think about it, and it's still inside of you. Whether you think about it or not, it's inside of you. The cool thing about forgiveness is if you imagine trauma like a giant pile of poo that you're holding in your hand, just this big pile of stinky poo, and you put forgiveness on it, it's like it just changes it completely into dust that you can let go. That's, for me, the magic and the power of forgiveness.
But when you started, like you mentioned, that 19 you were suicidal, and please, people, if you're having those thoughts, please try to get in touch with people or call the helplines and whatnot, because that is, you are worth of something. You are here for a reason. And then 23 you had this rage. Maybe was it you were drinking heavily at that time, or when
I was definitely a substance user and abuser. My drinking was very, very controlled, but when I did it, I would go from zero to blackout. Yeah.
But how was it? Then you joined the army,
the Air Force.
The Air Force,
which my dad was actually really upset about because he was an Army guy, and I was like, "Dude, we're on the same team. Come on, you know what I mean? Like, there's no need for this." But, okay. We're all very competitive in the U.S. about everything, so yeah. But anyways,
are you with the white people or like?
Like it's not like I joined like the US,
uniforms.
Yeah, it's not like I joined the U.S. Air Force for like another country. But okay. Anyways, so please go ahead.
I was just wondering because when you start this like the journey of 19, you have these thoughts. 23, you are like so angry and you drink and you are a substance user, and then you join the army, and then they like did the unthinkable because you love what you do, and they said like, "Oh, sorry, there is no place for you."
So I actually joined the military when I was 19, and I also happened to come out as gay when I was 19, and this had been in me all of my life, and I had suppressed it and suppressed it and suppressed it for reasons that I talk about in the book. I definitely come from people who really thought that they could just beat the gay out of you. And I had been subjected to that as a little kid. So I really had suppressed this. But at 19, it came up out of me in a way that I could no longer suppress it. But I also happened to be in the U.S. military at the time. This was in the late 1980s. And I had to sign a form before I joined the U.S. military stating that I had no homosexual or bisexual tendencies. You had to sign that form. And if you then were gay and you were caught being gay, you could be court-martialed, you could be sent to prison, you could be kicked out of the military, all kinds of bad things could happen to you. So I came out at 19 and decided I really needed to take ownership of the situation and just get out before.
But how long had you stayed in the army?
Air Force. Military. You got to get Air Force. I'm serious. There are some people who are going to come after you. You don't get this right. It's the Air Force. He's from Iceland. He doesn't know. No, give him a.
We don't even have an army.
You forgive him, okay? Just forgive him. So yes, I went into the Air Force at 19, and I got out. I think just before my 21st birthday.
So 2 years. And did you enjoy it? Like, was that something that you enjoyed, or could you?
It was impossible to know whether I enjoyed it because I came out. I mean, ultimately, I did realize it was not the best idea because I was full of rage and I had a lot of issues with authority. So maybe it wasn't the best idea. Maybe it was. I had a lot of rage and a lot of issues with authority. But I also will tell you, I was very proud to be part of something that was larger than myself. I came from a military family. Like so many people in my family were in the military. My dad was in the army for decades. My uncles, I have aunts, I have cousins, like so many of us were in the military. And so I came from a very proud military family, and I really wanted to be able to do that. But, between the rage and the thing with authority, and then I was gay, I was like, this is probably not the best idea for me. For me, I'm just saying, for me, this is probably not going to work. So I did. Yes, I got out.
Well, okay, then you got out, and then 23. You there's some when did you feel, or can you talk about feel the necessity of forgiving, or where you are at?
Yeah.
Because being gay,
Mhm.
that's one thing, because then you have to hide from, like,
Yeah.
either be in the South
Yeah.
or move to Alaska or like
Oh,
Europe or
actually, no.
something.
You go to California.
Well,
I moved to
oh,
California. Yeah. So at 20. By the time I'm 23, I've moved to California, and I am finally able to start being who I am.
yeah.
And I get sober. I stop drinking, using substances. I get out. I'm in some insane toxic relationships. I finally get out of those, and my life is really starting to come together. I then moved to Los Angeles. So now I'm living this kind of California dream where I have a job that I really like. I'm becoming a person that I find really interesting, and I really like. I want to be this person that I'm becoming.
Yeah.
But I also have so much rage. I mean, I'm living in beautiful sunny California. It's 72 degrees every day. What is 70? You guys don't even know what 72
No,
degrees
yeah,
is.
we
Like, you can't even convert that to Celsius. You don't
10,
even
10
know-
degrees, 10, 15 degrees Celsius is just like, woo, it's t-shirt weather. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
just like,
Yeah, and it's funny because 10, 15 degrees converts in Fahrenheit, I think, to like 50 or 60 degrees. When I first got to Iceland, it was 52 degrees, and there was a guy walking around with like no shirt on. And I was like, apparently 50 degrees is no shirt weather in Iceland. Okay, let's do this.
and especially if the sun is in the sky.
Yeah,
Like,
the sun was out. It was like
Yeah.
sun's out, buns out.
Yeah.
Like he was, you know what I mean? He was like, yeah. So, anyways, back to I'm living in sunny Southern California. I'm having this life that should be a beautiful life, and I'm just full of rage all the time. Are you doing
Yeah.
weather conversion?
No, yes, I have to do 72 Fahrenheit to Celsius.
You're trying to even figure out what
Yeah.
72
It's around
is.
20.
It's 20.
20, okay.
Around
So
20.
yeah, we are used to 15 here in Reykjavik.
Yeah. No, you don't even know nothing. You have to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Actually, like you have to leave the country.
Yeah, and then 25 is too hot. Like
Oh
that-
no! I think Iceland would die. Like,
Yeah.
people would just die. Like they would just be falling in the streets. Like no, I get it. Anyways, so I'm living this beautiful California life, this sunny California life, and I just have this thunderstorm inside of me all the time. And I just didn't want it anymore. I didn't want to carry this anymore. I wanted to love the life that I had.
But was that then at the point where your beloved mama? When is it that your beloved mama comes into your life?
5 years, actually. 5 years after I start, essentially, what becomes a forgiveness journey.
Yeah.
So 5 years after that, and I've been repeatedly coming back to forgiveness and repeatedly using forgiveness to let these most painful things let them go. And the more I do that, just the more of me just opens and opens and opens and opens. And then this incredibly loving woman comes into my life. And the only way she can get into my life is because there's an opening for that. If I had met her any sooner, there's no way she could have come into my heart. There's no way she could have come into my life. I was so suspicious. And this is the interesting thing about happiness. Do you ever encounter people who get really pissed off at you for being happy?
Oh yes.
Like, what are you so fucking happy about?
Why are you always smiling?
Why are you always smiling?
And laughing?
What's wrong with
Yeah.
you? Right? Do you not live in the world?
Yeah.
Don't you know how shitty the world is? What do you have to smile about all the time? I was one of those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I was one of those people who I was just antithetical to happiness.
Yeah.
I had a lot of antipathy about happiness. Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Oh, don't you come here with your fake
You know what I mean?
smile and
Yeah.
everything.
And so anyone who would come at me with like love, I would just be like, the fuck? No. It's funny. So I did some amazing things here in Iceland. I just want to give a shout out to Inside the Volcano. Iceland is the only place on Earth where you can go inside of a dormant volcano. 100% worth doing. Please go do this. And my tour guide and I, we were talking about the cultural differences between Iceland and America. And I was saying to him, I don't necessarily find Iceland and people in Iceland to be friendly, but y'all are aggressively helpful. Like some friends of mine, some friends, I was getting together with them on Sunday, and we're all Americans, and we were at the park mat trying to pay for parking.
Yeah.
And this Icelander drives up, rolls down his window, and says, "Hey, you don't pay for parking on Sundays. Parking is free on Sundays. You're in whatever zone 3. It's free." We were like, "Okay, thank you. We appreciate it. Please don't kill us." Like, okay. So here's the thing. So the tour guide, who was Icelandic, was like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And then he said, "Well, when I went to America, people were always asking me, 'How are you?' And I'm like standing in line to go to the cinema, and people just start talking to me. And I thought, are you going to kill me?"
Just because they're nice.
Right? Just because they're nice. He was like, "Are you gonna kill me?" And I completely understand this, right? So there, we have our ways, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love that you're the chief happiness officer of Iceland, because y'all do not have a happiness reputation over here. Okay? You do not.
Well, think about it. The guy, he would probably have driven home and said, "I helped the people. I helped some people.
I helped
today.
some people.
Yeah, I made my day." Like,
I mean, it was great. I mean, we thought he might stab us, but he also, he did a great job of helping us.
Just to mention, Iceland is one of the safest places in the whole
It
wide
is.
world.
Actually, I had this moment. So, speaking of happiness, okay, so the sun. I've been here 10 days. The sun was out for 3 of those days.
Oh, ooh.
Right? I felt very lucky.
Yeah.
I felt very #blessed. I really did. So there was one of those days where I went to a park here in central Reykjavik, and the sun was shining, and I just sat on a bench, and I just closed my eyes, and I just let the sun warm my face, and I listened to the sounds around me, and there were like people talking and cars, and like I could hear like ships, the horns tooting, and it was just, I felt so peaceful. And I almost like kind of went to sleep a little bit in this park. Like, not really, but I just kind of drifted out of consciousness. And I felt how safe it was.
Yeah.
Like, I could feel this sense of safety. This is never something I ever felt in my life until I started doing forgiveness work. Like, this notion that I am safe and I am connected and everything is okay. If you had told me at 23 that this was possible, I wouldn't believe you.
No,
I wouldn't believe you.
Yeah.
But now I know it is possible to feel safe and connected and okay. And Iceland's a great place to do that, because it really, I don't know if I would do that in the middle of New York, but here you really genuinely could just relax.
Women, they rent like a camper van, and they just travel alone. And
You really can. It really genuinely, and so it's interesting being able to feel safe in a safe place.
Yeah.
I know so many people who are in safe places and still so full of anxiety. And I'm like, you're in one of the safest places. Like, what are you anxious about? What is it that you're not able to just let go of?
But how is it when because what I admired in the story was that when your beloved mama came, and you had opened up.
Just
Because
enough.
when you think about your father before she entered his life, and you started to see, who are you?
Yeah.
What is happening to, like, and then he in his relationship with your beloved mama starts, then your worldview starts to crumble, and like, how is it possible that person you have lived with can all of a sudden go
be this guy?
Yeah, like from
How
the
is
dark,
this guy?
Yeah, from the darkness to the
light. Yeah, to the light. Yeah.
And see this transformation, and you must have been like, oh no, don't you ruin my, like, I am mad at you.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I had done this forgiveness work. I actually didn't hold it against him. I really didn't hold it against him because I had done the forgiveness work. I certainly stood back and watched. I certainly stood back and like, okay, let me see if this is real. But because I had done the forgiveness work, I actually could be present and not actually like push him away or say I'm not going to come around. Like, they invited me to come and stay with them. They invited me to come and be with them. I spent a lot of time with my parents in Las Vegas, and we had really, really, really good times there. And I was willing and able to go be with them and be present with them, only because forgiveness had opened me up enough to effectively give him a chance.
Yeah.
Like, give him a chance to show that he actually has been transformed by love.
But also he gets sick and you work beside him and hold his hand, like,
Yeah.
just to let him know that you have love for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And he probably felt it.
Yeah, for sure. And I will tell you, like, until the day my father died, and I was the person with my father. I was the only person with my father when he died. My relationship with him internally remained complicated because I still have this little kid inside of me. And this is the thing too, when we say, "Oh, it's in the past and I just forget about it," all the parts of you are alive in you. The little kid in you that was hurt by your dad, who's an alcoholic, that little kid is alive in you. The teenager, whatever you were like as a teenager, that teenager's alive in you. Oh yes, that teenager's alive in you. Ask your wife if she has had to deal with that teenager. I bet she has. I bet she has. Absolutely, absolutely. So
you're not going to talk to my wife after this.
Yeah, but we actually, I'm going to dinner with her. But those parts are alive. And so look, I still had a little kid who was like, "This is the bad man. This is the bad man who hurt us," right? That little kid was still very much alive in me.
And it's also because your view as a kid, it's like when you go to a reunion, you go into the mode of 15.
Yeah, exactly.
You are just like, who are you now?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
You are not like, you are 29 plus.
And now all of a sudden you're like, you just regressed. Like, actually, can I say something to this? Okay, so let me finish off this thought really quickly. This notion that I still had this little kid who knew this man as the bad man. And there were two things. Firstly, because I had become responsible for my own self and my own feelings, I was able to tell that kid inside of me, "I got you. You're safe.
Yeah.
I'm protecting you now.
Yeah.
And no one's going to hurt you again."
Mm-hmm.
And then also I had this incredible woman, this beloved mama who just loved me unconditionally and really helped that little kid feel safe too. But I will tell you, oftentimes when I would go visit my parents, I would completely become a teenager again. So I'm at my dad and my beloved mama's place, and I have my own room and I have my own bathroom. And I get out of the shower and there's a flood of water in the bathroom. I am a middle-aged woman at this point. I am like in my late 40s. I step out of the bathroom, I splash through the water, I open the door and I say, "Dad, the bathroom's flooded." And then I just walk off. Like, I don't even try to help. I don't even try to do anything. Like, I just would turn into a teenager again sometimes.
It is
So,
yeah.
anytime, if you want to be out there like, "No, I'm an adult and no, you have a little 5-year-old, you have a little 2-year-old, you have a teenager, you have a sibling, all those parts are still very much alive in us. And there's actually now, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's actually now a therapeutic practice called internal family systems that is actually very clear about this, that we do have all these different parts of ourselves that are alive and they have needs and they're trying to keep us safe. And our aim as a sort of higher functioning adult is to be in relationship with these parts of ourselves and to be the person that's responsible and learns how to take care of these parts of ourselves so they can get what they need.
Some psychologists, there was one who said that you have 3 in your brain, like you have the baby, you have the parents, and then you are in between, and then you have to figure a way to let the parents and the baby or kid like interact, so you would like, because you can hear like the discussion and you are just like
and that's effectively what internal family systems is. So but I digress. I don't want to go too far off on that tangent. Just this notion that, because I had done this forgiveness work, I could actually trust myself to take care of myself in my father's presence. And also I could see that he had been changed by this woman's love, and that she created safety. And so I could be in her presence as well. So it was, it was a complicated relationship with my father becoming my dad. It really did. I needed her. I needed my beloved mama to have this relationship with my dad. If I hadn't had her, like the love and safety that she created, I don't know that I could have created a relationship with my dad. So I really did need her.
And that is the beautiful thing in the book. Like it is just this transformation, and because although some chapters are like they are hard to listen to, but in the end you're just like goosebumps,
Yeah,
and you're
I
just
appreciate
like
that.
ah.
Yeah, I appreciate
So
that.
so, but how is it like now you are getting better at this, or you are come to terms with yourself? Do you relapse? Like, do you find? Have you been in a situation where you all of a sudden like, why are you here? I am
Yeah.
not raging.
Yeah.
I have forgiveness,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you're
yeah.
still like,
Yeah. No, that's a really it's a really good question, and I got a question similar to that when I did the talk, where a person said that they really want to forgive. They've been working on forgiveness, but also they find themselves back. They come back around to the place where they're in all of the hurt and all of the pain, and they asked me if that was normal. And I said, effectively, I can't really think about it as being normal or not normal. I think about it as being human.
yeah,
That we get to forgiveness through grief, through pain, through trauma. Like nobody is forgiving because everything's cool. Like that's not the reason we have to forgive is because something very painful or very harmful has happened to us. And those things take a lot of time to heal. So when I, had this, I had 20-ish years with my parents. With my dad and my beloved mom, I had 20 years with them. And there were certainly times where I was just like, I don't fucking want to be anywhere near my dad. I don't want to be anywhere near him right now. Um, there were certainly times where I felt like just too much presence of the past with him. It was still alive inside of me, like still needing to work through that. Because my father never did apologize. He never acknowledged what happened between us. He never apologized for it. He never took accountability for it. We never, ever talked about it. So all of the processing that I did about that, I always had to do that essentially on my own side of the fence, like with my own therapist or with my own life team. I had to do it with my own people for my own self. There was not something. There was never sort of a big talk that, like in the movies, like there's a big talk and then everyone processes all the things, and that never happened. Never.
well, I have this picture of you beside your father when he was sick, and you took his hand, and that for me was just like, ugh, when you see it, because then he, even though because he was of this like born in the early
Yeah.
of 1930s and
Yeah.
the recession and
Yeah.
not being loved and everything,
Yeah.
but he probably felt it, like he knew that even though he didn't talk about it
Yeah.
because it was too painful for him to talk.
Yeah. Actually, a story that I didn't put in the book, but that happened. So in the last 36 hours of my father's life, which I didn't when I went to go visit him for that visit, I did not know that my father was that close to death. Thought I was just going to be there for a couple of days.
Your dad, like,
My dad, yeah. I didn't know that my dad was that close to death. I thought that I was going to be there for a couple of days. I was going to get him some in-home health care, and then I was going to go back to work on Monday. And the next thing I know, he has stopped eating, he stopped drinking, and now I realize, oh my God, he's transitioning. He's about to leave the world. Um, and so the last 36 hours with him were just exhausting because my dad, he went down swinging. He did not want to leave. He just kept fighting to live. Um, in the United States, I don't know how it works in Iceland, but in the United States, when someone is in their dying process, there's an organization called hospice, and hospice actually helps people transition. And one of the first things they do is they recommend morphine as a way to calm the body so that essentially the animating spirit can leave the body. My dad had 4 rounds of morphine. You're not supposed to have 4 rounds of morphine.
He was
My
really
dad-
clinging to life.
My dad had 4 rounds of morphine. I was exhausted. That man, somehow he kept getting himself up out of bed. And like before we really got him, like before the morphine, this is why I had to get the morphine, because he kept getting out of bed. Like he couldn't walk, he couldn't operate his limbs, but I would turn my back for a second and he would get out of bed, and I would have to like get him and put him back in bed. Oh my God, it was exhausting. He just kept fighting. And at one point, I mean, I was loopy with exhaustion. And I sat my dad down on the side of the bed and I was like, Dad, you gotta take this morphine. Like this was like his 2nd round of morphine. And I was like, you gotta take the morphine. He's like, I don't wanna take it. And I was like, I know, Dad, but you gotta take it. And he was like, I love you. And I was like, I know you do, Dad. I know you do. And then he took the morphine and then he laid down. But it just, I mean, I know he, like in his way, in his way. And his way was broken for a long time. His way was dangerous. His way was violating. And then ultimately, once he really transformed himself as a person, his way was still difficult and it was challenging, but I know in his way he loved me.
And it's a beautiful story, because you are just like listening to this. It's just unbelievable that you could, because many people who have had resentment and anger, when they go home and they discover that the person who did them wrong has passed away, and then you can get the closure, whereas you get some kind of closure in an odd way.
Yeah, I got the closure before they left. And fortunately, I got the closure, and then I got all this love. I mean, it's interesting, oftentimes when we're adults and both of our parents pass away, I've heard adults describe themselves as orphans. Like once both of their parents have passed away, they describe themselves as orphans. I will tell you, so firstly, I started my life in an actual orphanage. I know what it actually means to not have any parents. There's nobody who loves you. There's nobody who's there for you. So I know what it means to be an orphan, and I know that I will never be an orphan. I will always have parents who loved me, and I'm incredibly grateful to that. And I'm incredibly grateful to forgiveness for that.
So, because we have to, time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, it does.
And we have 2 minutes. How is the work today? Like when you meet people, like, again, because I missed your lecture on Thursday, like how was it? Like how do people receive it? Because as we mentioned, well, my trauma is bigger than yours. But because, and how, what is the key word when you say to them, well, you have to let go anyway?
Yeah.
We are not in a competition. Like, what do you do, and how do you say it?
So I would say this. So 2 things, and I said this at the keynote as well. Often, what happens when I tell people I'm in the business of forgiveness, people say, "I know someone who needs that," and it's rarely themselves. Right? They're like, "My dad really needs that. Yeah. My wife really needs that. I should tell my brother about your book. I have this friend who totally needs your book." Right? Like that's typically what happens. But for people who do for themselves realize I'm holding on to some stuff and maybe I should let it go. Like we cannot underestimate this. It is a hard thing to do. Yeah. Sometimes we have been in relationship with our resentment for so long, we don't even know who we'd be without it. Right? It has fortified us. Rage is like rocket fuel. Sometimes like you need rage to just burn through life. How am I going to live if I don't have this rage, if I don't have this resentment? So one thing that I encourage people to do is just be tender with yourself. And if you are holding on to something that you think you need to let go, just take it slowly, baby steps. Give yourself 30 days. 30 days to try a forgiveness practice. And just do one thing that would be forgiveness related. And that could just be a simple meditation or mantra or prayer. That could be a simple act of just reflecting or journaling. Don't try to take on this big project. I'm going to forgive my whole family. I'm going to forgive the world. Don't just do one simple thing.
Don't eat the elephant in one bite.
Don't eat the elephant in one bite. In fact, don't eat any elephants. They're really cool. Stop eating elephants, people. That's all I'm gonna
Do
say.
we eat them?
I don't, you know, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm a little biased in that one.
Yeah.
I eat elephants. All right.
So let's see what David has to say, because I am reminded of the serenity prayer. Grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, have courage to change those things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Isn't that fine words to quit?
Well, it's actually I have a long history with the Serenity Prayer, David, that I talk about in the book. But yes, the journey to forgiveness was also the journey to acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions, or are we fine? It has been awesome,
Thank you.
and and as I mean, people get the book, listen to the book, because whoosh,
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you reading the book. I appreciate you being so passionate about it, and I definitely appreciate you having me.
But it is like, I get also like, why are you always so happy? I know somebody who has, like, he could benefit of
Yeah.
getting your, and I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to find it. So, people, you can find Luca on, because he has this wonderful hat, and that is the www.yffy.community.
Which stands for You Forgive for You.
You forgive for you. So check that out. And you can always, I didn't know, like, you are on LinkedIn and you are.
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find the book at your typical book places like Amazon. There's a place I think online here. It's called Storyteller for Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is it there?
the book is on Storyteller. For Iceland.
Wow. But this is wrong, because I didn't. I was going to ask her, but in light of recent activities today and sweating like I don't know what, because everything that could go wrong went wrong. So, but it has been fantastic.
Thank you.
And equally fantastic will be next week, when I will be talking to Divya Reviraj.
Good job.
Yeah,
No, good job. Good job.
Yeah, I think
Good
so. So next Thursday, 20th of August, I will be talking to Divya Raviraj about what success can't teach you, and that is, like, her story is also amazing, because coming from India and taking a U-turn and stuff, unbelievable. So people, buy the book, listen to the book, and as always, be curious, be interested, be inspired, and be audacious, isn't it?
Audacious?
Yeah.
And maybe just try a little bit of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Okay.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.